Yo, what is good, YouTube? I got the #1 tool for you guys that you need to be using on your TikToks, your YouTube shorts, and even your Instagram posts, your reels that you're editing. Man, I see so many clips that look like this. And while there's nothing wrong with that, your clip may be solid. It is super zoomed out. You can't really see any detail. And it's not that unique looking. It's not that entertaining, right? You just took it, you posted it to YouTube or to TikTok, and you did nothing to it, right? Maybe spliced it here and there. Here, I'm about to show you the #1 tool that you need to be using right now, and it costs you $5 or less if you're okay with watermarks, but $5, y'all. And it will save you an infinite amount of time. It will get your editing in under 2 minutes for a single TikTok, okay? Now you can get more involved and it'll be longer, but if you're just trying to get a clip look nice, you're set, okay? If you want to get a little fancier, maybe it takes a little bit longer, but it's going to make all of your UI elements masked, and it's going to overlay them, and it's going to turn that clip that you just saw into this. Alright, now, I work with this guy called DrewUI. Found him on TikTok, we chatted a little bit, and I saw this thing that he built, and the best part is that the UI that he built is $5, right? You can put it in Davinci, which is a free software, alright? Then you can take your stream beats from Harris Heller, you can throw that on top of it, more free DMCA music, right? And now you're set. You've gone from base level content creator to S tier content that people are going to watch over and over again. All right. So here's going to be the tutorial on how I edit my clips using Drew's template. All right. So if you've decided you want to make the investment into improving your clip quality and the speed that you can process these clips, check out the link down below the video once the video is done. This is going to be a tutorial on how to set up the UI and the settings that I use to make this process as fast as possible. So first off, you're going to navigate to DrewUI.com. Preferably you use the link down below. I am affiliated with Drew. I get a small kickback. It's like a few cents per purchase. I was affiliated with Drew way after I started using his editing software. It saved so much time and made my clips look way better. So naturally, when Drew opened up the option for people to become affiliated with him and work with him to spread awareness for the clip, I jumped on it. It's something that made my life a whole lot easier, and honestly, it opened up more time for me to do gaming, which I love. I didn't have to spend as much time editing stuff every night. So use the link down below the video and check them out. They've got all sorts of different games that are included. So you're going to navigate to this website, pick the UI that you want. The Pro UIs include the options for editing your face cam into your videos. If you're a big streamer or just want to use face cam on it, go with the Pro options. They're a little bit more pricey, but they give you that ability. If not, you see I just have the standard Apex UI pulled up here. Now, the key thing to do, and a lot of people make this mistake, if you're picking it out, notice there's a free version, okay? That is only for Premiere Pro, okay? You can still pay for it, but it's only for Premiere Pro. It won't work. It'll have all of the watermarks on it. What you're going to want to do is go down and either select the Premiere Pro or the Davinci Resolve. Okay, now you pay for both of these. You enter the price that you want. In my opinion, it is far and above worth the $5 that Drew charges for these. It's crazy how cheap it is and how much of a difference it makes. Okay, so you're going to enter all this. Make sure you select the one for whatever software you're going to be using. Davinci is a free software. That's the tutorial I'm going to be making on. But there are people who use Premiere Pro and they already pay for it, so know that those are the options. And then what you're going to do is you're going to download the file once you've gone through and purchased everything. Now, once you've got the file downloaded, it's going to be a .drfx file. Okay, make sure that you have Davinci open. You're going to double click on that file, and it'll pop up asking if you want to install it on Davinci, and you'll go through the motions, and it'll pop up, and we'll get there in a minute. All right, but you're set. The UIs are already done. Okay, So what you have to do now is select your clip, and you'll see I've got mine here. I keep it actually, sometimes I'll pull the files in here if I'm just filtering through a ton of clips. I'll load them in and then I'll delete them as I go through. Or you can drag it in straight from Windows Explorer. So I've already done all that. I'm going to drag it down into the timeline, and you'll see it populates and we're good to go. Now, the best thing is that I've got this fancy banner overlay on, and it will work with the UI. As long as it's in the confines of the original bar. You know, if it expands over a little bit, it won't. But if it's in those confines, it'll work fine. Okay. So before I go ahead and apply the UI, I'm going to go into project settings. And I just use the same project over and over. I keep the settings and I just delete the clip out, load the new clip in, and I'm good to go. If you want, sometimes if there's a really complicated edit, it has a bunch of edits, transitions, splices, all sorts of stuff. What I'll do is I'll save that as a new one, but I always have a base project so that I don't have to keep going back and making sure these settings are correct every single time. It works great for me. May not be the way that other people choose to do it, but I love it. All right, so once you're in these settings, you're going to want to go through the master setting. You need to leave this at your base recording canvas resolution. So for most people, it's going to be 1920 by 1080. Just, you shouldn't have to change this. Just leave it at whatever your timeline, whatever your original footage is recorded in. You're going to leave it. Playback rate should be 60 frames. That's going to give you the highest looking quality, and you're going to leave all this video monitoring down the bottom the same. You're not going to change anything to TikTok resolution of 9 by 16. You're just going to leave it for now, and we'll take care of all of that in the post-processing as you're getting ready to export the clip. The second piece that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to image scaling. Now, this is really important. Your clip is going to look funky if you don't get this right. Okay, it's going to look really weird. You're going to, once you're in the image scaling, you're going to scroll down and look in the output scaling section. You're going to turn off match timeline settings. And then you see this is still 1920 by 1080. You got to leave it that way. Okay, trust the process. It'll work in the end. And then you're going to go down to mismatched resolution files. You're going to change this to scale full frame with crop. And that's the key so that it doesn't look weird in the end. Okay, and now you're done. I don't have to hit save because I already have it that way. But once you're done, you'll save it and you'll back out and you'll be ready to go. All right, so I've already got my clip loaded in. I haven't done any cutting, any editing, or any splicing, and here's why. It's going to be way easier if you apply the effect at the beginning and then splice it up than it will be to get your splice, especially if you're cutting out a bunch of different pieces. You're going to want to go in and you're going to have to change settings potentially on the UI for 5 or 6 different small clips. So that's why I apply the UI first, and then I go in, I'll turn the UI off so I can edit at full speed, and then we'll see what it looks like at the end. So I've got it over here. It's Apex UI V3 in my favorites, so I don't have to scroll through everything in the end, and I can go ahead and just apply it right here. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to drag it over the clip. Now you see that's the TikTok resolution we want, okay? In the end, it's going to crop out those black bars on each side, and you're going to just be left with the TikTok sized 9 by 16 video. All right, so now that you've got it applied, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go in and make any of these edits that you want before you start cutting up the video. So, defaults to ranked. What you're going to want to do is, get it set with the version that you want, and then I actually have, so I shift each of the pieces just a little bit, just the way it's where I want it placed, just to make mine a little bit unique. And I actually assigned macros to my keyboard, so that I don't have to remember it and type it in every time. So it's really easy. I'm just going to go through and have it type these in for me. We're all set, nice and clean. Nothing will pop up here until I get guns, and so we'll see that in a minute. But it'll line up with the UI perfectly. All right, so like I said, we're going to go through and you can select the pieces you want. If you want your player card, weapon card, different allies, you can actually go ahead and deselect that because there's nothing there. It's just a duos game. And as you can see, my nice little overlay looks perfect. Nice. It's a great way to distinguish your clips from the other clips as Drew's UI blows up. I'm sure we're going to start to see this format a lot. And so you still have to find ways to make it unique, make it your own. And so that's one of the ways that I do that. If y'all are interested in having a super easy customizable overlay that you want to build, I actually designed that myself in a free program called Figma. I'm all about that free, that budget philosophy about, not putting too much money into something. And so if y'all are interested, let me know. What I can do is I can post a template for that, and you guys can just go in and adjust the coloring and the font and the stuff that you guys want to do yourselves. And we'll make that happen. All right, so now that I've got my UI all set up the way that I want it, I'm going to go through and we're going to clip it. Now, the key here, the important thing that you got to do is this button right up here, bypass color grades and fusion effects. Okay, the UI is a fusion effect. It is very resource heavy, and it's actually one of the things that's limited behind the paywall for Davinci is full speed editing with these fusion effects. And so what you got to do is you need to make sure you turn this off as you're going through and clipping things. Okay, now the UI is still there. The difference is that if I play this, you'll see it's running full speed, 60 frames. If I apply the UI, it's going to run at like maybe 10 or 15. So that's the key difference here. You're going to want to turn this off, and it just basically pauses the UI until you're done. And I actually know this is something that happened last night, so I'm going to scroll forward a little bit, try and find this clip where it starts. I'm going to go ahead and start editing. So I'm just going to do some splicing, and I actually have a bunch of shortcuts programmed to my mouse and different pieces, so it's nice and easy for me to cut this up. Scroll out here to the end. Get it nice and lined up where I want it to. Get rid of all the clutter. The best thing for these clips is that you're going to want to make them, just the action. Something that I fall into is trying to make these edits nice and, oh, here's the lead up, here's how I got in this situation. And people don't want to see that. They've already scrolled past your video. They're gone, right? You just got to let them straight into the action as quick as possible. They don't care about the setup. They really couldn't care less. And so all that they want to see is, your beams, your movement, different pieces, and then you go from there. So like even all this, that's all gone. I don't even want all that. That's too much. They've already scrolled past my video. We're gonna get nice and tight where I slide way past. And done. Nice and easy squad wide. We're going to get rid of the rest of the video. So we got a nice, what is that, like a little 9-second clip. All right. And just like that, I'm done. All right. We're going to watch the whole thing through. That poor guy got absolutely beamed. And, I might throw a little transition on that. Let's do it. Davinci's transitions are sometimes frustrating. Their fusion transitions look really good, but again, it's hard to tell in full speed. So, that's a nice quick transition. I think I'm just going to leave it. I don't think I'm going to add any of these default ones. And we're just going to leave it the way it is. Usually, I like to walk this through a couple times just to make sure that transitions and it's got all the pieces of action that I want it to have. And a key difference that I make actually in OBS is that I have all of my audio recording in different channels. And so I have like gameplay in channel 1, Discord in 2, mic in 3, and then I have other effects from when I was streaming audio cues in a different channel. So if a teammate in Discord says something really goofy, I'll just go in and delete them. Or, I can boost my mic for one level, for one section, or boost the audio of the gameplay for another. Different pieces that save you in post-production, honestly. It's great. So I'm done. My clip is literally done. I've got this beautiful overlay. looks amazing. It includes all the necessary stuff. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into deliver, and I've actually made a custom preset. Now I'm going to show you guys how to do this because it's great. Up in these 3 dots right here, vertical is a hamburger menu. I don't know what we call those. 3 dots. We're going to click on that, and you're going to save as a new preset. So the first thing is you got to get these settings right. This is where you're going to set your TikTok resolution, the 1080 by 1920, okay? And 60 frames, your single clip, you can match these settings exactly. I make the quality what my recording is at, and then you're set. And then once you have that done, you can go up here and save as a new preset. So that all you have to do is come up here, and you click that. For whatever reason, Davinci is weird, and it will default you to this view right here when you look at it like this. So you'll need to scroll to the left. Don't be confused by that. It's there. It didn't disappear. It took me a little while. And you'll also need to pick your location. So I actually save mine straight to Google Drive. And then that way it's on my phone, my laptop, my gaming PC. It's everywhere that I could want it. Google Drive doesn't reduce the quality. Sometimes it gets a weird thing where it'll tell you it's uploading. Like I still have a video uploading from June. It'll do that sometimes, but generally it's not an issue. Usually it'll be available on Google Drive within 10 or 15 minutes across all your devices. So that's where I've got mine set up to save. We're going to call this just easy squad wipe. Off drop. And then you're going to add it to your render queue. And the key thing here, you got to make sure that when you go back, if you're on the edit tab, make sure that that's re-enabled. Because if that's disabled and you render your clip, it's going to render like a 19 by 20 YouTube video. Make sure that's enabled. Come back to deliver, add to render queue, and then you just come back over to the right side and you'll render it. You can actually see all the times that I've rendered the same project just with different names. So as good a time as any, go ahead and plug the TikTok, the YouTube. Shorts have been popping off lately, and I've been having a lot of fun on YouTube. Ironically, there's a lot of hate, and I just feed off of it. For whatever reason, hate comments bring the most views, and you know what? I can handle it, so I'm here for it. But hit like and subscribe on the YouTube. Go swing over to the TikTok and show some love. I'd really appreciate it. So we're about 95% done here. It's done, so I'm going to pull up the old TikTok folder. All right, it's all done, so here's the final copy. Nice. Looks good, nice and crispy. Overlays look good. It's nice and centered on everything. I center mine from the edges of my banner. And then the same with this. It looks weird that it's not centered on the compass like that, but it is centered on the screen. And so now we're done. It's ready to be posted. It's that easy. It took me hours. I probably spent 4 or 5 hours before I met Drew trying to figure out how to mask these myself. And it was just a matter of all like 5 or 6 layers of the same video with this custom poly mask that I'd drawn on, and it was taking me forever. There's no way to duplicate it. I pretty much was going to have to do it every single video. So you can see how fast that went. I'm done. It goes by really fast. So one of the big pitfalls that I've noticed, at least with the way that I have mine set up, is that I have to make sure if I'm, I go back to edit, I delete the footage, and I post pull in a new clip, and then re-edit it and everything. Make sure that you're not just, if you're matching what I do, make sure you're not just changing the name for whatever reason. That's made the video shrink sometimes. So come in, re-click the UI, and then retype all, your file name. All the rest of the settings are fine. They're good to go. But for whatever reason, that makes a difference. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, hit them in the comments. I'll also have Drew's Discord in the comments of the video, the details down below. So feel free to join there. You can ask questions. If I'm not around to answer, there are other people, including Drew, who will answer questions for you. So yeah, please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. Let me know if you want to see more videos on how I do my recording settings, how I set up, anything else in Davinci, and also swing by the TikTok and follow the channel there. I'd really appreciate it. I have a blast doing this. I don't do it full time. I work another job, but I love getting to meet people and say hey and get to share my gaming clips with y'all. So hit up both of those channels. Twitter too. There, all the link for my socials are in my bio down below and in the description of the video. So swing by, say hey, and maybe we'll get some games sometime. See y'all.